Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Online Karting League Africa. We are back with our South African Championship, starting with our juniors with something new. We are racing the four-stroke, the Tillotsons, tonight, and we've got about 11 juniors on track. Not as much as we anticipated we'll have with the juniors, but still some very fast names on track, and we are super excited to take you through the proceedings for tonight. We've got a 10-minute qualifying coming up in about 3 or 4 minutes. Then we've got an 8-lap pre-final and a 11-lap final. So the juniors racing a little bit shorter as compared to the seniors and the masters combined, but they always give us a super exciting race, and we are heading to Formula K Layout D, which is pretty much the Rotax / Rock layout, the two-stroke kart layout. We are doing the four strokes with them tonight, and we are so excited. The boys are fast. They are pretty much on the same pace as most of our seniors, so it is super excited. And we all have seen these juniors race in the past with the minis, and they are so fast, and it is super exciting. Yeah, so let's quickly have a look at the track map. So what the track looks like, and we can, before we head into our final part of practice, let's bring that over. All right, down here we go. That's where the start-finish line is, into turn 1, which is pretty much flat out, and then turn 2 with these four strokes flat out as well. Then we're going to go into the double right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of that's pretty much flat out, then a slight lift into 8. Then we're going to go into the first hairpin, 9, 10, and then into 11, going into the aeroplane section, 12, another hairpin at 13. Up we go into the corkscrew, which is probably one of the most epic corners on the calendar. Then turn 18, and that is a lap. It should be about a 1 minute 12 on the Tillotsons. Look at that, 19.3 meters elevation. It is absolutely a roller coaster of a circuit, and we are so excited to take you guys through that for tonight. Let's bring up our race screen, and here we go. We are currently on board with Max Boshoff from Extreme Racing, racing with the Tillotson tonight, and Deacon Willifeed just behind him. Max Boshoff, of course, the South African champion of the National League we raced earlier this season. This, of course, is new hunting grounds for all of these boys racing in the four strokes in the simulator, but we are so excited to see these kids put on a good show for us tonight. Deacon Willifeed now going in front of Boshoff. No, Boshoff sending it by again. Oops. No, they're lifting. They're trying to get a tow from each other in the last couple of minutes of practice. Ashai Nagura's having none of that. He is like, I'm going to get out of here and get moving. Super excited to see what these kids can do with the... This is the first time they're racing with what we'll call a senior chassis, even though these cars are pretty much slower than the Mini 60s. So what we have excuse me, what we have established is that the juniors, or not the juniors, but the T4 carts, they are slow as hell, but my word, they make for exciting racing, and we hope to see that again. And like we can see with the last bit of practice, these boys are racing each other. Doesn't matter what they do on track. So it's going to be exciting to see them go through their motions and put on a really good show for us, hopefully. Just like to give a shout out to everybody joining in our live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are super excited to share this space with you guys once again. Just checking the admin is having issues going over into our race mode. Oh, qualifying. There we go. We've just moved over into quali. There we go. And we are going to go straight out. The boys are not going to wait for anybody. Let's quickly see while we wait for the guys to take their first out lap. Quickly double check something. Yeah. Currently, so Jake Steyn is currently on track in first one that will take us around the circuit for his first flyer. So we'll follow Jake Steyn on board. While we wait for all of them, let's quickly have a look at our drivers for tonight. So we've got Deacon Welifi, Ruan Victor, Adif Singh, Ashina Gura, Max Bosov, Jose Slummett, Jake Stein, Diego Antunes, Andre Betancourt Jr., Niso Tapedi, and Zach Hindley. So some exciting new names in the form of Zach Hindley, Andre Betancourt Jr., Jose Slummett is on his first race, as well as Adif Singh. So we've got some juniors coming through the ranks, another set of newcomers, and that is what we want to see at OKL, is all these youngsters coming through the ranks and getting themselves acquainted with the simulators, as well as racing on their local tracks. What an epic experience these kids must have. Something I wish I had growing up, but better late than never, I suppose. Deacon Welifier is the first one on track, so we'll see. Well, he's going to be the first one to cross the line on his first flyer. So let's see what Deacon Welifier puts on the board. He's part of the Against the Odds racing team this season for the African Championship, which is of course my own team, so super excited to see Deacon Welifier represent Against the Odds in the juniors division. We've got a nice spread of drivers, so we've got a Zach Hindley, part of the Angry Esports, Miso Topedi, Cart Republic Africa. Pricevic is missing because he's on holiday at the moment. Then we've got Adif Singh with Keto Card, Jose Slamet, Angry Esports, Ruan Victor, Plus Minus Racing. Let's see, Deacon Welifier crosses the line and he does a 1:12.7. That's a really good first lap. And as you can see, big first lap by Deacon Welifier. Let's just quickly go. Ruan Victor, Plus Minus Racing, Max Bosov, Extreme Racing, Ashina Gura, RPM. Jake Stein is not part of a team, so running as a privateer. Diego Antunes, NBR Karting, and then Andre Betancourt Jr., part of the RPM. Andre Betancourt Jr. is the only driver outside of South Africa in the juniors category who is part of Mozambique. We still have a lot of the Namibian kids missing, as well as a couple Mozambique drivers missing, so hopefully we get them to race in the next event. This is meant to cater for all Africans and not only the South Africans. But here we go, so let's have a look. Max Bosov is 7/10 down, Diego Antunes 1.5. What a first lap by Deacon Welifier. Almost 8/10 is the gap from first to second on their first banker lap. So we'll follow these laps as they cross the line out, because this will be where the boys will start pumping in much better lap times. Let's see if Deacon Welifier will improve. And then we'll head over on to who's next on track. Deacon Welifier crossing the line now out of the last corner. He goes... doesn't go faster, but Max Bosov, 27 milliseconds off there, so he's much quicker that time around. 2.5 off by Betancourt, also 2.4 off. Diego Antunes 6/10, then Slummett not getting a lap in as of yet. Adif Singh crosses the line 3 seconds, so the youngsters are not necessarily getting their first best laps on the board. Ashina Gura will be the next one to cross the line. Look at him tuck in. So there's a big difference between these Tillotsons and what they have been used to in the mini 60s. Is what we've gathered with the Tillotsons. You don't want to be passing somebody into a hairpin because the cart bogs down so easily. You want to gain that momentum, so you pretty much want to set up for a pass on the exit of a corner instead of going into a corner like we would do with the minis. So let's see if the kids have adapted to that. We've done a 50-minute endurance last Friday with the kids. A lot of these kids and senior drivers, so they're on the specific track, so they would have gotten a really good amount of reference. 1/10 off is Ruan Victor in third at the moment. Here comes Deacon Welifier. Again, crossing the line. Does he improve? He does not, but Max Bosov doesn't either, so that's pretty much where the good lap is. It's a very fast lap at 12.7. Oops, I accidentally clicked the button. That was not ideal. Just fix that. Then Betancourt Jr.'s improved, but not by much. Diego Antunes is currently still 6/10 off the pace. Jose Slummett has improved. Yes, he has 2 seconds. Adif Singh coming out again. Ashina Gura will be the next one to cross the line. He goes down into the corkscrew. Not ideal. I think he used a little bit more of the track than what is allowed. Let's see if he does actually improve on his lap. 3.1 seconds, quite a big margin. No, he doesn't, so I think that might have been an invalid lap. No, I'm lying, 3/10. off the pace there is Ashai Nagura. So really actually still a good lap. Here comes Ruan Victor. He's almost 1.5 tenths off the pace. Let's see, crosses the line now. Ruan Victor does improve on timing but not on position. So he's cut his own lap time in half pretty much. But there, look at Deacon Willifeed, 112.4. But Max Boshoff improves on his lap, still in second place rather. And then Jake Steyn crossing the line now again, not improving. And Tunes is 9 tenths off the pace still. Slummit, 2.4 seconds. He hasn't been able to improve on his lap time. Hindley is... Where's Miso Taperi? Why is he not coming out to do a lap time? Miso Taperi is not coming out. That's not ideal for Miso. Let's just see if he's in the server. He's been having connection problems again, Miso Taperi, unfortunately. So that's gonna not be ideal for Miso, which means if he does manage to join, he's gonna join and start at the back of the pack. So connection problems. Oh, Arif Singh is using Ashton Repsol's helmet. I hope he's got permission to use somebody else's helmet. Crossing the line now. Ruan Victor once more. Does he improve? He does. He moves himself up into second place. Just a little bit less than a tenth now off of the lead. Does Deacon Willifeed improve? He does not. Max Boshoff. Oh, Max Boshoff moves up into first place now with a 112.412. Boshoff putting in an absolute stonker of a lap. Jake Steyn crossing the line. Doesn't improve on his lap. Neither does Bettencourt. Diego Antunes is pretty much a second off the pace. Slummit is still 2.2 seconds off. Hindley is 2.8. So big gap between the first half of the grid and then the next set of guys. Let's see, Arif Singh, is he going to improve on his lap time crossing the line? 3.4 seconds is the gap. It's a big gap. No, he does not improve. Ashai Nagura is 4 tenths off the pace. Ruan Victor. We pretty much pick up exactly where we were at the end of our South African Championship. Boshoff, Willifeed, Victor, Nagura having a proper go at their lap times again. Victor not improving this time around. Here comes Deacon Willifeed, tucking, maximizing his lap time. And he does improve. He goes up to a 0.3, but immediately gets pipped by Max Boshoff. Like I said, once again, these boys picking up where they were at the end of the South African Championship. It is a proper dogfight out there between Boshoff and Willifeed and Victor, and not too far off of the pace there is Ashai Nagura. Bettencourt crossing the line now, not improving this time around, and Tunes remains in the middle of the pack pretty much. So does Slummit, so does Steyn. Hindley crossing the line. He does improve by a couple tenths, but not on position. Here comes Nagura. Will he be able to hook up a better lap this time? Oh, he climbs the curb. You can just see him fighting that cart through the corkscrew. It's not going to be ideal for his lap time. Crossing the line now. Does Nagura improve? He does not. Singh also not improving on his lap. Victor here. Victor should be able to get one more lap in if he crosses the line before the timer runs out. So let's see. Ruan Victor crossing the line for the start of his final lap. Does he improve on this one to move himself up into first place? He does improve, but not going into first. Another person that will start another lap in qualifying is Deacon Willifeed, and I believe Max Boshoff as well. So all three of these boys gets one more lap, and it's timed to absolute perfection. Going across the line with the track having its maximum amount of rubber on that they can put in this one session. Diego Antunes will cross the line now, and he will be the first to finish his qualifying session. Antunes crossing the line, not improving, is a second off the pace. Bettencourt will not improve, I believe. Slummit, will he improve? Slummit doesn't improve. Oh, Jake Steyn getting it all kinds of wrong onto the start-finish straight. Hindley will cross the line now and not improve on his lap time. So here comes the top four for their final laps. Does Nagura improve? Ashai Nagura, 4 RPM. Will he take pole position? He does improve, but he remains in 4th place. Arif Singh crossing the line now, remains at the back, unfortunately. But here comes pole position hopeful Ruan Victor. Gonna cross the line now. Will he improve? Ruan Victor doesn't even tuck. He just puts his foot down. No, he does not improve. Not sure why Jake Steyn goes out again. Max Boshoff currently in pole position. I believe he will remain there because Deacon Williford has fallen back by quite a long margin. Alright, so there we go. That is your pole position by Max Boshoff in the very, very first race. Immediately got a disqualification. Is a bunch of the drivers. Just check if they've got high ping. Joseph Slamet's got high ping. Yeah, I'm not sure why the admins are not restarting, so I'll just do it. No stress. Alright, on to the grid we go. So let's have a quick look while we wait for all the boys to join. Our pole position currently, qualifying summary, Max Boshoff leads the way with a 112.36.1, and then Deacon Williford in second place, a 112.376, so only 14 milliseconds the gap. That's as close as it can get. Ruan Victor in third with Ashai Nagura right next to him. In the second row, then third row we'll have Diego Antunes and Jose Slamet. Fourth row we'll have Jake Steyn and Andre Betancourt Jr. And then at the back we will have Zach Hindley and Arif Singh. Pretty much all debutants at the back there. So a lot to learn and a big experience for them to take in tonight. 11 cards. Oh, we're missing. Let me just double check. Miso Taperi still having issues connecting, which is far from ideal. Sorry, I'll just type it out there. A couple guys getting. So how this works, guys, is some of the kids might have a disconnect whilst standing on grid. Like we saw there with Slamet. Getting another disconnect. So that will be the third and final. So we'll do this. We'll just type that out. Right, that's the last restart as we saw there by the admin. I'm gonna get going. Hopefully all of them make it onto the grid and we can start racing with this pre-final. Right, everybody in the stream, thank you so much for joining and tuning in and hopefully enjoying what should be an absolute amazing experience. Well, we hope so, at least, that the juniors have fun. We, as the spectators, can have fun and enjoy an absolute amazing set of racing by these youngsters. We hope to entertain you guys on the couches. We hope you got your popcorn ready because this hopefully will be an absolute epic race. We know Boshoff, Williford, Victor and Nagura from the South African Championship, they were side by side pretty much start to finish. Will they be able to replicate that form? Pretty much seems to be the case if we just had a look at what the qualifying put on. It was 3/10 between first, second, third and fourth. 14 milliseconds between first and second. So it is as close as they can get. Alright, 20 seconds until we start with this race. Everybody should now be on the grid apart from one person, and that is Miso Tapedi. Oh, Miso's on the grid. Miso made it in. I just checked here. His name is there. He's got a ping. That means he's on the server. Miso will start racing from the back of the pack. So hopefully Miso enjoys himself tonight with leaving it to the absolute last possible moment to be connected onto the server. There we go. All of the boys are on the track now, I hope. Yes, apart from Miso, he didn't go to the track. Well, we are in the start sequence, waiting for the lights to go out. Ooh, big jump start there by, who was that? Ruan Victor. Ruan Victor with an absolute big, did he get a jump start there? Let's have a quick look on the pop-up on the screen. Yeah, Ruan Victor, 10-second penalty for a huge jump start. Not ideal there by Victor, leaving the door open for... Ooh, there goes a cart off the track, causing absolute havoc in the back. And who lost out there? We saw, was that Jose Slamet with crazy ping. Slamet with a crazy amount of internet ping there, unfortunately caused havoc. So the biggest loser there in that moment would have been Deacon Willifeer, who has been taken out, unfortunately. Let's see how far back he goes. Willifeer's got a lot to do to catch back on, but he's going to send it straight down the inside of Jake Steyn. He's going to move up a position already, going into the Boeing or the aeroplane section. Willifeer is going to be absolutely livid there. But he's going to have to keep his head cool, calm, and collected to move himself all the way back up the field. That is an unlucky start there by Willifeer, but we are very sure that his pace will move him up. Yes, he's lost pretty much all of his cart in body parts. Active drag reduction system that he's got going there. Or weight reduction system, rather. Alright, we'll move back up. So it's immediately a big gap because of the chaos that happened in the start of the race. Bosov is up into... Well, he started in first. He's still in first. And he's got a huge gap. But let's see if anybody else will be able to catch the back of Bosov. Nagura also got a good start. 10-second time penalty for Ruan Victor, unfortunately with a mega jump start. So that's going to put him far back unless everybody else doesn't keep up. But let's have a quick look here. Deacon Willifeer has scored onto the back of Antunes now. He's going to take it nice and wide. Antunes is defending into the aeroplane section now. What is Willifeer going to do? He's going to send it down around the outside and just use the momentum of his cart. Yes, he's going to do a nice little cut back there. And Tunes is on the inside into the corkscrew though. So how is Willifeer going to deal and manage with that? Clearly Willifeer's got the pace to move past him. But he's going to have to do it in a cool and calm way though. Willifeer all over the back of Antunes, and it seems to be the only battle on track. So we'll follow this for now. Look at the pace from Willifeer. He's going to send it down the inside into turn 1, which is pretty much flat out, and then going to use the corner camber. And Tunes is going to try and defend and hold on to that position, and he does in a very fair way. Oh, and unfortunately the two clipped each other. Well, Antunes' cart faces the right way though, manages to save that, and Tunes very lucky to get away with that. And now it's Jake Steyn. Two of the youngsters, Steyn and Antunes, having a fight here. Steyn turning that steering wheel a lot more than what is needed, which will definitely take a lot of the momentum away in this 4-stroke cart. The gap is big up in front, 1.5 seconds from Bosov to Nagura. And in third place right now is Deacon Willifeer with that 10 seconds time penalty by Ruan Victor for the jump start. But will Deacon Willifeer be able to stay within 10 seconds to gain another position? Alright, unfortunately, Jose Slamet has been removed from the server due to unstable internet, and that has unfortunately caused that big pile-up in the beginning. I just had a quick look at what the admins posted there. So Slamet has been removed due to unstable internet, so hopefully that can be resolved for the next round. Let's have a look at what's happening up in front now. So we've got Ruan Victor trying to stay onto the back of... that is... Nagura in front of him. So Victor, who's got a very second-hand Tillotson card at the moment. Ridiculously second-hand, if I'm honest. But he still has the pace. So the side part falling off is not bothering his pace at the moment. He is holding on to the back of Nagura. Let's see if we can just do a nice little onboard with Max Bosov. And just check how Bosov works the kart, how he works the throttle through this section. All of this should be pretty much flat out. It might just give a slight lift into this section here. Yeah, as you can see, he's feathering that throttle, trying to keep the pace going. And then into the first hairpin. Again, just lifting the throttle, probably not even using the brakes. And then here we'll just slam the brakes, get the car to turn. You can hear him bogging down quite a lot there. So not ideal. And then into the aeroplane section we go pretty much flat out through all of this. Gonna run the kart nice and wide and then throw it into the corner. Just trust that the grip will be there and to go through that corner into the hairpin. Slam the brakes, throw the kart in and flat out again into the corkscrew now. Max Bosov showing us how it's done around here, using the curb and a little bit more, saving the groundsman a little bit of time on the next day when he needs to cut the grass. And that is a lap around FK with the leader, Max Bosov. As clean as it gets, Bosov part of the Extreme Racing team. 2.9 seconds is the gap, lap 6 of 8. And then behind him, Nagura and Ruan Victor. Nagura trying everything to catch, but Bosov is having none of it. And then Victor, let's see what the gap looks like. Ruan Victor has got enough gap to stay in 4th now. Only just. But Deacon Olivier has about a 2.9 second buffer before he moves down 1 grid slot. Then untunes. Jake Stein is currently in 6th place with Hindley in 7th. Andre Bettencourt Jr. His kart is very second-hand at the moment. He's lost just about all of his body parts. He's racing with the retro kart, they just frame. Arif Singh as well. Oh, he's lost the nose cone. And then Max Bosov leading the way. Very uneventful race after lap 1 due to the unfortunate incident we saw there. Hopefully race 2 gives us a little bit more to be excited for. But the pace of Max Bosov at the moment, it is unmatched. Almost 3 seconds the gap now. Nagura has not been able to keep onto the back of Bosov at all. Hopefully he will pose a little bit more of a competitive fight into the final. But both Nagura and Bosov, the only 2 drivers with a kart with all of its body parts still on or intact. And then unfortunately Ruan Victor with that 10-second time penalty because of the jump start. It does seem like Olivier is not able to close the gap. I'm just looking at the gap between the 2 on track. Okay, no, Deacon Olivier seems like he is closing a gap because he's got about a 3.3 second leeway now. It was 2.8 earlier, so he is closing the gap just a little bit to Victor in front. So there is space from Olivier, so it's not all hope lost because only the final scores points. We have to remember that the pre-final is essentially a qualifying heat, no points to be gained. We are racing for the points in the final race. So all he needs to do is take this kart over the finish line and he should be in a good position to fight with Nagura, Victor as well as Bosov. Right, crossing the line almost is Max Bosov. He's pretty much just he's just got the corkscrew to navigate now, and then it's everything flat out from here. Uphill we go into the last bit of the roller coaster. Downhill we start with Max Bosov going downhill into the final corner now, turn number 18 I believe. And we go and cross the line. Bosov taking the pre-final, keeping his kart in pole position with Nagura in 2nd. Then Ruan Victor crosses the line in 3rd, but will be demoted into 4th because of his jump start on the start of the race. And Deacon Willifeed will start in 3rd place and Tunes in 5th. Jake Stain moves up into 6th place as it stands. And then Zach Hindley will be in 7th. And then Betancourt Jr., son of Andre Betancourt of Mozambique. No stranger to the 4-stroke carts. Hopefully Andre will join us in the racing in the Big Boys League soon. In the meantime, his son has joined Betancourt Jr. out of Singh. Is in 9th and then disqualified from the event. Unfortunately, Jose Slamet, because of his unstable internet problems, which is very, very unfortunate. And we are just going to wait for the start. Let's just do it. Maybe let's just do a flyby while we wait for the series admins to, or the stewards, just to chat to all the drivers. We'll just do a nice little drone flight just to show you guys what this track looks like, and then also our spectators, just a worthy reminder of the rugby champions in World Rugby, and that is the Springboks. Look at that on the plane. We've incorporated their titles onto the aeroplane, just so we can remind the world when they come into the virtual sim, they get to just experience what a glorious nation we have when it comes to sports. And then just do a nice little flyby of this beautiful facility that is Formula K. What a glorious track we have going here. We'll just, while we wait. Oopsie, we were in flight mode. Why did this thing just boot us over? Unlucky. We'll just do that again. We're still busy just doing a nice little drone flight there. Look at this glorious facility we've got going. And this first corner, you can see the, not the first corner, the second corner. We'll just fly nice and low to the surface. And you'll just see the corner camber here. That's why the boys come through your flat box. You can see the corner, the camber to the outside, the elevation. And the kids can just go pretty much flat sticks through there with no problems. And I believe we'll wait for all the carts to come to grid. Let's just double check. Yeah, I'll just keep that on there so we can just see. We'll just do a nice little flyover again. All the boys, and a reminder of who's starting where. Max Boshoff will have the prime slot, will be pole position with Ashina Gura. Yes, Ashina Gura gets the inside line into the first corner, but it's not the first corner that you want the inside line for. You want to be on the outside into turn 1 so you can have turn 2 with the perfect position, which will be the inside line. So that is what Bosov would have wanted. He's got that. Then we've got Deacon Willifeed and Ruan Victor. Hopefully Ruan Victor doesn't get trigger happy on the throttle there in the start of this final, where the points are scored. He doesn't want a 10-second handicap to start off with. Then we've got Antunes behind him, who's hopeful to pick up some scrapes. Diego Antunes has really been very consistent in the league, in the South African Championship, where he kept his cart on the track and he scored some good podiums because of penalties in front. And you know, to finish first you got to finish, and a lot of these boys keep forgetting that, and they take themselves out into the first corner. So hopefully they'll take it nice and easy. We are already on our start sequence. 2 carts not starting. We'll go into the camera chase with us. We'll follow Nagura. And it's lights out and away we're going to shoot. Nagura getting a good start. Bosov doesn't seem like he had a great start at all. Ruan Victor going to move up into second place, but Bosov will still have the inside line though. Ooh, Nagura has moved up into first from the get-go, having none of it, moving himself up. Bosov defending that line. He's got it away from Victor. And then just behind him it is Deacon Willifeed, who's lost the position as well. Keeping it nice and clean though, Willifeed, Victor and Bosov. And then, ooh, we lost our track map there. Sorry about that. We got that back online just to see where the fights are at. And this is a proper dogfight between first, second, third, and fourth, as we have come to expect from these boys. Ooh, Nagura running wide, but he's going to defend. Very aggressive there against Bosov. But now Ruan Victor's going to send it down the inside. Nope, here comes Bosov, moving it back down the inside and clipping poor Nagura off the track there. That's very unfortunate. Bosov with a bit of a naughty nudge there. And now Victor is moving himself up into second because of that unfortunate incident between Bosov and Nagura, but it is still a three-way battle, and it is an absolute dogfight out there. Oh, now here comes Deacon Willifeed, who gives Bosov a pretty big love tap there. Bosov surviving that exchange, but unfortunately losing out very hard. Here comes Nagura. He's back in the hunt. He's going to send it down the inside because of that momentum loss. Ooh, clipping the rear there of Nagura was Bosov. These youngsters are very anxious and very aggressive. Oh, and there goes Bosov and Nagura once more. Another unfortunate exchange between these two youngsters. And I just saw carts go off here in the background as well. Betancourt Jr. and Zach Hindley unfortunately meeting each other on track. Is that Ashai Nagura out of the race? Yes, Ashai Nagura has retired from the race immediately. Alright, we've got the leader now. Deacon Willifeed leading the way with Ruan Victor right behind him. Both of them managed to get away pretty okay-ish. Probably pending some incidents between all these drivers. And then Max Bosov in third, who has had a really aggressive start to the race between himself and Ashai Nagura, which is very unfortunate there. And then Jake Stein and Diego Antunes having a go at it. The 355 versus the 366 carts. You just check Antunes tucking his head down, trying to maximize his lap time. Jake staying in an upright position, not tucking at all. These two have a good battle, but we're just going to go back up to the front because Ruan Victor has moved himself up into first, and we've missed that, unfortunately. And now it's all the work needs to be done by Willifeed. Oh, look at that great exit speed momentum that Willifeed kept through that corner. He's going to move his car to the outside, force Ruan Victor to go under the fence. And now Ruan Victor and Deacon Willifeed is going with the side pod shuffle there, which is not ideal. He's going to send it down the inside into the first, into the hairpin rather. He does, and he moves himself up into first. And this fight has opened a door for an absolute epic battle with Bosov is coming into play now once more. Willifeed and Victor. Ooh, Bosov has had a big moment. He's clipped the wall and he's lost his nose cone and rejoined onto the track with a little bit of a second-hand looking Tillotson kart there, unfortunately. So Bosov has pretty much removed himself out of this race. We'll go back up into the front. So let's go on board with Ruan Victor. There we go. Ruan Victor on board. Chasing down young Deacon Willifeed. Let's go with the side pod camera. Willifeed versus Ruan Victor. Plus minus racing versus against the odds racing. Ruan trying to keep the momentum in the kart. These things really need a lot of momentum. Ooh, climbing the curb there, which isn't ideal. He's Deacon Willifeed. You see them work that throttle. Flat footing that thing, going under the defensive. Is Deacon Willifeed into the corkscrew, which will compromise his exit. But it compromised him enough to compromise the driver behind, which is Ruan Victor as well. What a good lap there. What an amazing race between these two up front. It is an absolute dogfight out there between these two. It is all about who can maintain composure, who can keep the consistency, who can keep the momentum, and forcing the other one to make the mistakes. That is pretty much where it's at. Like I said earlier, where we've noticed you want to do your passing is not into the entry of the corner because of how these Tillotsons lose momentum. You pretty much want to set your competitor up for a defensive line and use that corner speed momentum that you would have to go on the attack into the next corner and make pretty much your pass happen on the exit of a corner instead of into the entry of any turn. But it seems like Deacon Willifeed got a little bit of a gap now. So he's got a bit of a breather, so we're going to just follow Bosov with these very second-hand looking... Oh, Bosov just clipping the rear of Stein there. Stein seems like he slammed the brakes into the corner, which definitely isn't what you want to be doing in these karts. And then we'll just go back to the front again, because as I said that, these boys are up and fighting again. Deacon Willifeer versus Rowan Victor. Plus Minus Racing versus Against Odds Racing. Boy from Cape Town versus the boy from Gauteng. An actual 2-stroke racer versus an actual 4-stroke racer. So it is the great story between the different competitors, different backgrounds in location, in karts, and we all go into the level playing field, which is the simulator with fixed setups. It's all about who can adapt the best between these competitors, and Rowan Victor had a little bit of a moment into the hairpin, just bogging down a little bit too much and opened up the door once more. And unfortunately, Ashai Nagura retiring very early due to a unfortunate incident from what we saw between Bosov and Nagura. The two collided on track into the first, well, the exit of the first corner, which is pretty much a flat-out corner. And then Nagura being sent into the wall and having to retire his kart, unfortunately. Not ideal. It's now 7/10 the gap between Victor and Willifeer. Let's just have a quick look at what happens on the rest of the track. We've got Diego and Tunes in third, and like I said earlier, guys, Diego and Tunes is one of those kids. He might not be the fastest on the track, but he always manages to secure himself podiums by just keeping the kart on the black stuff. So Antunes already in a podium position once again, because of staying out of trouble, just keeping the kart on track, and yeah, pretty much moving himself up. Let's see who's next. Max Bosov in 4th place, who would probably expect to see some penalties depending on what the stewards deem those incidents happening between himself and Nagura. Jake Stein in 5th place, then Betancourt Jr. in 6th place. Also using the active drag reduction there, getting rid of his body parts on the kart, the plastics, for some more speed. Zach Hindley in 7th, and then Arif Singh currently in 7th, and no, in 8th place rather. Okay, the gap seems like it's gone down, or has gone up by a couple milliseconds. But we're on lap 8 of 11. Deacon Willifeer currently in a good position. Will he stay there? And is there a potential penalty on the cards for Willifeer for what seemed to be a little bit of a contact moment between Bosov and Willifeer? Hopefully not, because he has been super fast, and hopefully by keeping his kart in one piece, he will secure his first victory of the African Championship, or the first victory of the season rather. Or will it be Rowan Victor, who is staying close and in touch of Deacon Willifeer from Against Odds Racing, and then Rowan Victor from Plus Minus Racing? We definitely need to get a helmet and a suit made for Rowan Victor. 4/10, so that's 3/10 gained by Victor on Willifeer. So we're back in the fight, and Willifeer's pretty much going to start towing along Victor now. Victor should start benefiting from that tow, pretty much where he is now. And we'll see him start dialing in onto the back of Deacon Willifeer now. Just going on board with Rowan Victor, just to see where his lines are, where he's going to try and gain, where he's going to potentially try and pass. Oh, big moment there by Deacon Willifeer. He has compromised his own exit. That is the opportunity now. Will Victor start pouncing there? We just saw Deacon Willifeed going sideways through the corkscrew. We go downhill at the top of the hill, essentially going downhill through corkscrew now all the way. It's flat out through here, flat out through the next corner, and flat out into turn number 2. With that amount of corner camber you have available to you, you can pretty much just keep your foot on that throttle and let the corner do it for you. Victor is now as close as he can be. Will Victor try and size up something? There's a lap and well, almost 2 laps to go. This is our second last lap, and Victor is all over the back of Willifeed. Willifeed is going to have to maintain composure, and Willifeed is going to have to size something up. Will he be able to, though? Oh, running wide there is Deacon Willifeed. Hopefully he doesn't receive a penalty for that. Oh, throwing that cart into the corner, very aggressively sliding. You can hear that cart bogged down on the exit of the hairpin. Into the aeroplane section we go now. Ruan Victor all over the back of Deacon Willifeed, and we are up for a final lap shootout. Will Victor try and do it now, or will he hold it on to the final lap? No, Victor's going to send it down the inside, but he's going to compromise his exit. Yes, he is. And Willifeed is going to try and hold on to it, but nope, Victor's got the inside line into the corkscrew. We go. Victor is going to be compromised on the exit there. I saw his cart slide. Oh, and they clipped each other. They clipped each other. They unfortunately on the second last lap, the start of the final lap, Deacon Willifeed clipped Ruan Victor there. What will the stewards deem that incident? And that is unfortunate, because the two were racing side by side for pretty much half a lap. It was pretty much going to happen at some point, and that's very unfortunate. Ruan Victor will be very, very upset at that moment, and I probably think that Deacon Willifeed's heart will be sitting in his throat there, because it is pretty much his victory on the cards. But will there be a post-race incident review? Will the stewards deem something malicious there, or would it have been a racing incident? Unfortunately, we'll only find out in the next couple days, but here we are on track. The guy to finish the line, or cross the line in first, well, pending the last couple corners, will be Deacon Willifeed from Against All Odds Racing. His first season in Against All Odds Racing team. Willifeed has been pretty much racing on in a privateer capacity for the last season. But here we go. Deacon Willifeed crosses the line in first. Hopefully no penalties will take that away from him. Then Ruan Victor will cross the line in second. And a very eventful race between these two. And then Diego Antunes, like I said, that little kid that just stays on the track, gets another podium. And then Max Bosov, who had a very unfortunate first couple laps. And a dogfight between himself and Agura, unfortunately, in fourth. Then Jake Steyn will cross the line in fifth, which would be a really good finish for Jake Steyn. Well done, Jake Steyn. Andre Betancourt Jr. from Mozambique in 6th place. We'll have Zach Hindley crossing the line in 7th, and he'll be happy with his debut race in OKL. And then Arif Singh still almost got lapped there at the end. Arif Singh needs to still cross the line, and we'll give Arif Singh his moment of glory, taking us through the last couple corners. And into the corkscrew he goes. Singh and Hindley and Betancourt all on their debut races today. So well done, boys. Welcome to Online Karting League Africa. This was an absolute eventful race between our juniors division. Fantastic to see them. Well done by all the juniors. We are super proud of you guys. And before we go into, or the server crashes before that, we'll just quickly just say our closing thoughts. Congratulations to Willifeed, Victor and Tunes, who is your podium finishers for the juniors division. Fantastic driving from the guys. There was obviously some unfortunate incidents between them, but we just want to say well done to them and to every competitor, and thank you for tuning in, guys. We have another race coming up at 8 o'clock in an hour's time from now. It is our seniors and masters division, and that promises to be a 20 to 24 kart grid, so absolute maximum capacity for these boys to join the server and race. And that should be a very eventful race with so many karts on track. Hopefully their computers will last. And we would like to say thank you all for tuning in. Don't go away for too long. We'll see you in an hour's time for our seniors and masters division. There's some very fast guys, some very well-known names, and some really good sim racers. We will see you guys very, very soon.